children of the night. What music they make. They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
Oh, what's up, all you cowboys and beautiful buckle bunnies? Welcome to the rodeo that is final, guys. Because it's Tuesday night. You better get on our hogs or horses or something. Anyway,
what?
As always, I'm Hunter Shea. I don't know. I'm drinking tequila. I'm joined tonight by my good pals, people I would take a bullet for. Who would I take a bullet for first? Well, Jack, naturally. We've been friends for almost 25 years, maybe?
And I'm most likely to get a bullet shot at me.
Just on a random train.
I don't know, but you don't have hundreds or dozens of hours of shitting on Steven Seagal on the internet like I do.
That's true.
True. So, Jack Campese, who is a Bobby Flay my flesh. Jason, herpes of tongue brand.
Hello, everyone.
That was so gross, by the way. Chad, authentic Mexican.
Hola.
Never Lutsky. I would never confuse you for a Mexican. And I'm Hunter, eat me Shay. Because tonight we are reviewing the latest Nick Stahl enterprise called What You Wish For? Is that the name of it?
What You Wish For.
Oh, good. Thank God I remembered. So, it's all about the fun of eating people, and not in a Pornhubby kind of way.
It is hard to remember this title. When I was setting everything up, I was like, what the hell is the name of this? Because it's not a great title for the content of the movie.
No, not at all. And we'll get into that later. But before we get into things, what are the drinking words?
The drinking words for Jack are rich, soylent, and watch. And for Hunter, they are Epstein, phone, and night. For me, they are thriller, Terminator, and tongue. Terminator. What?
Terminator 3.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. And for Letsky, they are to be, body, and voiceover. And the bonus words are stall, chef, or gamble.
Gamble. I like that. Okay. Before we get to the news segment that will surely blow our balls off, does anybody have anything? Is there a new creepy couch, an SBIG, an STD, whatever? What do you guys got?
STD.
Yeah, of course there's a new creepy couch. It's actually Star Wars. Surprisingly enough. Not a horror
cutting
movie.
Edge. The original?
That's right. But the reason, because my wife had never seen it, and I haven't seen it since 1977 with my butt in the movie theater.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did
you watch one of
see
these
it once as a kid?
I only saw it once, yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Man, so did you get like a Blu-ray or DVD or something of it? So you saw the new special edition with the CG and shit?
Unfortunately, yeah. The copy that I had was from the 90s, I think. I've had it for a long time, and I watched it. I was like, what? I don't remember Jabba the Hutt in here. I don't remember, and it was clear that this was not a...
That was terrible.
It was clear that this was not from 77.
That looked like they took a piece of paper, Jabba the Hutt.
Like the old Marvel Comics cartoons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain America throws.
Yep.
God damn.
Wow. That played in the movie theater by me for 2.5 years when it came out. We saw it at least 20 times.
Oh my God. I saw Star Wars so many times.
So good. Empire's still my favorite. I forget
it's the only one worth watching.
I like all three. The original.
I do recall
3. Oh, you're younger.
I recall liking them more, Empire and Return of the Jedi, more than Star Wars.
I forget Jason's younger, so he didn't care about Ewok puppets. But by the time, like Jack and I and Jason and Chad, but
you tolerate
like what?
You tolerate 3 for the Luke Darth Vader stuff
and Leia and the bikini, but then you were assaulted with the Muppet Show. Like I was
Yeah.
so done.
This is coming from a man who sent me a movie called Let My Puppets Come. You're going to sit here and lecture us about watching
By the way,
puppets on
that's-
film?
Unless the puppets are shooting like ropes of stringy cum, there's
Oh.
no reason to watch.
Did you ever see the Melissa McCarthy movie with the
No.
puppets?
Yes, it's
Is that
terrible.
any good?
No, it's boring. It's like
Oh, really? Because the trailer made it look awesome, but I've heard it wasn't that good.
it's like 80 minutes long, and it feels like 4 hours. It feels like the uncut version of Midsummer. And it
Which is
shouldn't.
in the theater coming up soon. I just saw the trailer for it.
I finally released our 100,000 subscriber special Bloodsport marathon, where we sat and watched all 4 Bloodsport movies. Although I found out afterwards, apparently there's a 5th that doesn't have Bloodsport in the name. But whatever, screw that movie. We watched all 4 in one day. Dave and I sat in those chairs, drank beer, and watched the movies. And I got to tell you, Bloodsport 4 is bad. Like,
Really?
holy shit, it's wild how bad that movie is. So if you want to see some idiocy, head on over to my YouTube channel. Check out the Bloodsport marathon.
It's rare where the 4th installation is any good other than Friday the 13th.
You know,
Yeah.
like the first one's the best. The second one was good, but not as great. The third one's a step down, but it's still tolerable. The fourth one is like shocking. Like the Kumite is being held by a dude who looks like Ben Franklin, and he has the harem of women and like gangsters with Tommy guns protecting. It's insane. It
That sounds
looks like
kinda
they just
awesome.
had costumes and they were like, let's make a Kumite movie.
Did you watch these all in a row?
Oh yeah, back to back, no breaks.
Poor Sheridan's kicking himself that Kumite isn't a word for Jason tonight.
By the way, how drunk was Dave by the 4th? Did he know who he was?
Drunk enough that he was really pissed off during the fourth movie because of how bad it was.
I figured he'd be like, everything's good at this point.
No,
Does
well,
he have to change shirts between movies because he gets so sweaty?
that's just him all the time. It changes. So the fourth movie has the same actor from the second and third one who fought in the Kumites, but he's playing a different character in the fourth movie. It's insane. It's wild. So no, Dave was pretty pissed.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's hard to piss him off. By the way, I was with a guy named Dave this weekend at a party who looked like Dave and talked like Dave. But
Was he also dumb?
Fake Dave.
he's the dean of a college.
Dean
So
Dave.
he was like the anti-Dave.
Did he have a shirt with his picture on it?
He did not drink.
That he's
But the
no
whole time I'm
Dave.
going, this is kind of like fucking Dave in like the Bizarro world.
This like evil Dave out there running a school.
Exactly. he was awesome. I think I love all husky Daves. That might be my new fetish.
When I found that kid in my office that's a big fan of Jason's, and I was like, oh, that's my buddy. And I'm showing him pictures. And I'm like, wait, do you know Dave? And I show him the picture of Dave with the shirt and me doing the Dave face. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the greatest picture ever taken.
Yeah,
That's
we all need
amazing.
those shirts. By the way, can we get those Dave blowjob shirts anywhere?
Not yet, but I finally convinced him to allow me to put those up. So hopefully
Oh,
soon.
I'm in.
Dude,
Hopefully soon.
I have to go to your brother's area at one point this summer, and I'm going to wear that Dave shirt for 4 freaking days. I'll have to buy 2 at least.
We'll go to Chiller in those.
Who are you cosplaying? Dave.
Dave.
Sell them in the freaking car with some hot dogs.
That would be awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
I'm exhausted. Let's go to Jack's award-winning news.
It's the news. Yay.
All right. I don't know what you're drinking, but
I'm drinking Asbury Park Blonde, which is
ooh,
absolutely delicious. I got to thank my mommy for getting it for me.
I stole my wife's favorite beer, which is Lone Pines OJ double IPA.
if I did it. OJ, if I
Look
did it.
out!
The reason I asked that is because I want a toast for Donald Sutherland, who
Oh.
passed away at the age of 88.
Should I pour some on my keyboard?
Can somebody do the Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Hunter, I feel like you could do this. Now, can you pull down your pants and do the Animal House show your butt?
I can. By the way, my fraternity that I created was named Delta Tau Chi. And in our fraternity house, we had a room that played Animal House 24/7 with tapes. So there were 2 tapes, and there was someone in charge of rotating the tapes, even at 3 a.m. if no one was there.
Wow.
I have the
Commitment.
college, the Belushi College photo right there on my wall.
It's a zit.
Get it? Sutherland also played Straker in the terrible Salem's Lot remake.
Oh,
Which I never saw.
never saw it.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
on DVD because when I bought the Shining miniseries, it came with that too.
God.
We actually just recorded a Donald Sutherland So Bad It's Good episode last week. It'll come out in 2 weeks.
What's
What
the
movie's
movie?
that?
It's called Hollow Man. It has
With Kevin
Him?
Bacon?
no. Hollow Point, not Hollow Man.
Oh.
Hollow Point.
Yeah.
With Tia Carrera, John Lithgow, Donald Sutherland, and Thomas Ian Griffith. It's weird.
Tia Carrera, though. Is this like Tia Carrera, like prime Tia Carrera?
Yeah, this is like
Well, it has
right
to be.
around True Lies.
Oh,
Yeah, like
that's
95
worth
maybe.
watching.
Yeah,
So
she was
bad it's
alright.
hot.
Donald Sutherland. I mean, somebody's got to look. For people who have been in the most movies, like Samuel L. Jackson and Donald Sutherland have to be.
And John Carradine. That's probably the holy trinity right there. I can't believe he was 88. Can you believe he lived to 88? It's not like he lived like this pure life.
The man produced Kiefer.
Yeah. How long? And he's still alive. Like, this is amazing. Sutherland genes. We need to like grab.
That Sutherland's genes created Jack Bauer.
Yeah.
And the head Lost Boy. Oh, that's right. He was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He was.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of sad. That hit me hard. Again, 88, which I didn't think he was that old, but I was shocked he made it that far. But I
he
was
has
also sad
been
he's gone.
in so many movies.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a pretty funny one coming up. This news story. A Mithrigan spinoff is in the works.
Let me take my pants off.
And remember how when the recently there was like a life-size Megan doll?
Yeah.
Yeah, who
came out?
bought it? What one of the
Somebody in the
wackos
chat, I think.
bought it?
Don't
Let's
put it in
call
the chat.
Let's just
Hunter will
say-
come over and finish you off.
Let's just say we don't know who it was, but let's just say it was Michael Clark who bought it.
I was going to say the same thing.
And there's obvious jokes you can make about a life-size Megan doll. Well, the spinoff is going to be called Soul Mate with an 8 for the end. A.
Oh, God.
So Soul
Masturbate.
Mate. And a pseudo sequel to Megan. Where's the man acquires artificially intelligent android to cope with the loss of his recently deceased wife. In an attempt to create a truly sentient partner, he inadvertently turns a harmless love bot into a deadly soulmate.
There we go. It's going
So-
right where I knew this whole thing was going.
Yeah, it's so there's a Megan universe, and they're going sex doll route.
I mean, that sounds more interesting than Megan was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Give it an R
Yeah,
rating.
it does. I just can't believe that they're this much is happening from such a bad movie.
Chad, quiet. Down, son.
A movie based around a
TV
TikTok.
So bad.
By the
So-
way, I was at a flea market this weekend and I found a life-size Annabelle doll.
The
It was
Annabelle
like 4 feet friggin' tall. That
Why?
some lunatic made.
All
And
right.
I was like, do I ask questions? No. I'm going to walk away.
Don't touch it either.
Oh, no. Let's look at it.
Okay. There is a company called Kino Lorber, or a production or a distribution company. They are releasing Blu-rays of Hunter. Sit down for this one.
I'm
Food
down.
of the Gods, Empire of the Ants, Frogs,
Oh, my God.
Squirm, and
Kingdom of the Spiders.
Kingdom of the
King of the
Spiders.
Spiders? The only one I don't own is Squirm at this point. I have all the rest.
They're all such good movies.
Due out August 20th. Each title comes with a slipcover that features reversible artwork. So there's artwork on both sides.
Oh,
Pre-orders are up and available for $24.95 each.
oh, I'm in. I just bought a Day of the Animals. Like, I think when we
Nice.
were a chiller when I bought this one.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, I fucking love this movie.
So I think I have a DVD of Kingdom of the Spiders. So
I do too.
I think I may have to upgrade.
Yeah. By the way, did I ever tell you my Day of the Animals story?
Probably told me because we did a
This
whole
is so
show
wrong.
on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Day of the Animals, I had bought tickets. It was playing at the Alamo Draft House. And I said, I want to take my younger daughter who loves this kind of stuff. So I bought tickets. And that day, Kobe died in a helicopter crash. And then 2 hours later, we went to the movies. And we're sitting in this movie where, like, Alamo was like, don't talk, you'd be thrown out or whatever. So not far into the movie, there's a helicopter crash. And the guy in the back goes, Kobe! Oh, and it was like, I just tried to stuff the laughter down. I'm like, this is the definition of too soon. It's 2 hours.
That dude is a
65.
savage.
But there was nervous tittering in the theater. And I
Wow.
was like, holy cow.
Chad couldn't take it.
He's out. Oh. So yeah, that was the greatest Day of the Animals coincidence you're ever gonna have. And then me and Leslie Nielsen took our shirts off and battled a bear.
He was so badass in that movie.
We got really racist first, and then we punched the shit out of a bear.
If they did some sort of like packaging for the, like, not packaging, but like a group thing where, like, buy all 5 and you get a discount, that'd be a great box.
That would be your best, like, 70s nature attacks movie combo ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Speaking of nature attacks, the king daddy of all nature attacks movies, Jaws, is turning 50 next year.
Ugh,
So
amazing.
Wow.
National Geographic and Amblin, which is Spielberg's company,
Yep.
are working on a documentary titled Jaws at 50, and it's going to have unseen footage and stuff from both Spielberg and Peter Benchley, plus like tons of like famous people commenting on Jaws and stuff. This news story is for me because I cannot freaking wait to watch it.
Yeah. When's the last time you read the book, by the way?
Oh, gee, I haven't read the book since the 80s.
I'm tempted to reread the book for the summer because it's different than the movie.
Yeah,
And there's no better version than what you and I saw, Jack.
that was spectacular.
Reimagined as 3D. Perfect 3D.
Looked so good.
Yeah.
So if you're a Jaws fan, next year we got new content coming. And I mean, I already just got the 4K Blu-ray that's got the awesome documentary. The shark isn't working.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for some.
How long till we get an anniversary edition of Jaws: The Revenge?
Well,
Dude,
it's
it's
probably
worth
going to
it.
be like 10 years from. What do you think? Jaws:
Yeah.
Revenge is how many years from?
I don't know.
None of us will
Actually,
be
it's
alive
probably-
for that.
Probably more than 10 years, actually.
We're all doomed.
I mean, the telepathic shark following her across the ocean, like,
The
that's a
great
superior
thing,
storytelling.
It happens.
the shark in that movie roars like Spot from the Munsters.
It explodes.
But
It's
yeah,
amazing.
by the way, it's not telepathic. He smelled her period. You didn't realize that? The underlying
No.
text of that?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize she still had that in her 70s. That's impressive.
She did, yeah. She was very active. She
Yeah,
could've
did you see
knocked
Da
her up
Vinci
at any
Code? It's
time.
all this stuff. I don't know.
Part of the Illuminati.
Yeah. Well, there's my hat is like a shark's fin. That is all the news that's fit to print.
All right. You know what, Jack? I appreciated this segment. This is one of your better ones. I enjoyed
agree.
every minute of this.
I just report on what I find.
I am going to go to the used bookstore tomorrow and find Peter Benchley's book. All right. Let's get on to the junk that we watched.
have such sights to show you.
What do you want to show me, Chad? Stand up.
I watched DVDs this week. Everything I watched was
DVDs?
on a DVD. Yeah,
Would you go to the Goodwill?
I had I got a big collection, and this was sent to me by John
watched
Bowden about a year or
Microfiche.
so ago.
John Bowden, he's a writer. He makes
He's
words.
an excellent writer.
Yes.
Excellent. Very cool guy. When he replaces his DVDs, he sends them to me. When he gets his Blu-ray and replaces them, he sends me oftentimes his DVDs. So this is
Dude.
one of them. He loves.
So the next
this movie.
time I replace, I get a 3-pack of new Hanes underwear. I'll give you 3 old.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
No, seriously. You
So-
can have it.
When I get boxer briefs to replace my tidy white. Here.
So
Just
the other
inundate
night,
Chad with dirty underwear.
I'm looking for a movie to watch for Creepy Couch. So I grabbed The Night of the Hunter, starring Shelley Winters and Robert Mitchum.
Oh, that movie's so good.
I've
Directed
had
by
many nights of a hunter.
directed by
Jack's had to endure a lot of that.
Oh, fat.
Quasimodo,
PTSD.
Charles Lawton, which I was surprised about. Yeah, John assured me this was a true classic.
Yes.
Stephen King thinks it's one of the scariest movies he's ever seen. I'm
Screw
assuming he
him.
saw it on opening day when he was 8, because for a picky film snob like me, this was not scary.
No, but it's great.
But I didn't expect it to be. But Robert Mitchum plays a greedy con man serial killer pretending to be a preacher who preys on widows. He does a 30-day stint for Grand Theft Auto and finds out his cellmate has stashed money somewhere for his family, $10,000. That guy is then executed for his crime. So Robert Mitchum, when he gets out after his 30-day stint, he does his whole preacher shtick and goes looking in the small town for the new widow and tells her and her kids that he knew their father. Within a day, the widow and this fake preacher decide they're going to get married. She just had her husband killed. She doesn't know this guy at all, but you know how it is in some of these older movies. They're just like, they have a 2-minute conversation and they're just in love and they cannot be separated.
Yep.
Even though they've only spent 5 minutes together. So that's how this was. We're going to get married. The rest of the movie is a coming of age cat and mouse chase with some murder. The movie's okay. My biggest problem was Robert Mitchum. He is god awful in this. Every word.
I am fucking speechless. It's one of the top 100 performances in film history.
No.
Agreed by anybody with
No.
4 fucking brain cells.
If you are looking for something that is completely unbelievable and over the top, like no one in their right mind would ever believe this guy is a preacher or that he was genuine or that he was, I mean, he's got con man written all over his face every time he opens his mouth.
Preacher. Yes.
No.
Every fucking tent revival.
I don't know.
preacher.
No, I don't know any preachers who are bad guys. Not to say there aren't any, but I personally in my life don't know anybody.
There was
Not
just
like-
one guy that
especially
just got
not like
caught
this guy.
diddling kids.
He was not believable in his role. And every woman in this movie is an absolute idiot, with the exception of this kid collecting cult leader toward the end. Sweetheart of a woman who collects kids for a living. And then whips out her Bible and reads to them Bible stories.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
But yeah, every woman falls for everything and
You're
the guys
looking
aren't
at this
much
through the
smarter
lens of an
either.
old guy in 2024.
I am, yes,
That's
But
the
he's a
issue.
I
self-proclaimed
very much am. Yeah.
film snob.
Yeah, that's why I said
No film
yeah.
snob would ever say Robert Mitchum was the problem with this movie. Ever. And just think, in between takes, he was high as a kite. He was the king of fucking weed.
I know that he was showing up drunk, and it was not making people happy. But this guy, yeah, no, seriously, this guy was.
That's
not,
where they got Night of the Hunter from, because hunters are always drunk.
I will say this: it's
Hey.
a really cool story with great cinematography, but the characters and the acting, with the exception of the the boy, I think his name was John. He was great. He looked like a little tiny Rob Lowe or something. That kid was great. But
I'm going to give you credit. You gave a review of Night of the Hunter that's never been heard before. So, perfect.
I can't imagine. Here's what I would have liked to seen. Because the women fall for everything that this guy says, I would have liked to see a reason why. Like, instead of like throw another half hour into the movie,
big dick energy,
and show why. Show this guy be actually charismatic rather than just like as plastic as can be.
I guarantee you, he had a cock as big as a man's forearm.
Well, it wasn't in the movie, so
looks like a baby's arm holding it.
Well, he didn't want to use it on his wedding night. He yelled at his wife because she wanted to get down and he didn't.
Well, you got to wait for it, man.
He had some issues.
Know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
He had some issues. He was not down with sex.
Well, he probably liked prison sex at that point, so he was
maybe. I mean, even at the beginning of the movie, he went to what do they call that? Not a strip club, but like the older.
Oh, strip club Hunter. Was there a mop in this movie?
Never done that.
And he was like hate watching this strip show. So anyway, yeah, Jason, I would like you to see it since you're younger, and you tell me just how bad this guy's portrayal of.
I've never seen this. I don't know how. This is a big blind spot for me.
If Jason watches this movie and says the same thing, I will fucking throat punch him.
I don't hate it. I was just a little underwhelmed. And
by the way, Robert Mitchum's one of those guys. If I could have a drink with a Hollywood actor, he's like top 3.
So you're completely biased.
Who else is on that list?
Well, that makes sense.
Him, John Wayne, and
Julie Strain,
Robert Shaw,
Annie Sprinkle. No. Who was the guy who was married to Liz Taylor a couple of times? They were in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Him. I'd want to drink with him. I want to drink with people who are like hardcore drinkers and totally fucked in the head.
John Rickles?
John Rickles. Don Rickles is too nice. You hockey puck. Get away from me, you big
I would totally have a drink with Don Rickles.
Absolutely.
Right. So if you want to see this, come over and grab my DVD and you can borrow it. And
you
looks like it's on Prime too.
Yeah, mail it to me, Chad. I will take good care of it.
Richard Burton, the chat is.
Richard Burton. There you go. Yes, thank you. And Liz Taylor. I'd like to hang out with her. All right, Jason, what do you got?
I wanted to add on to what I was saying about the latest Stephen King book, You Like It Darker. I had 2 stories left. So I said, I really liked it, even though he incessantly talks about politics and COVID throughout the stories. Well, it turns out the last 2 stories are actually novellas, so it took me a significant amount of time to finish reading the book, and I didn't realize the book is over 500 pages, which is pretty hefty for a short story collection. And the last 2 stories have none of the COVID talk, none of that. It's they all take place in the past, and they were 2 of my favorite stories in the entire book. So I wanted to add on that even though I liked it, but I was annoyed, those last 2 stories were really freaking good and took the book to another level for me. So if you were on the fence, it's still Stephen King. He still is a master of writing.
Awesome.
So check it out.
Here's my question. In the last 4 or 5 years, what's the book you think? Because I'm so pissed off at what a tard he is in real life. In the last 4 or 5 years, what's one book you think I should read?
Have you read The Outsider? I don't know if that was 4 or 5 years ago. It might have been like 6.
Was that the last Mr. Mercedes book? Oh, no, I read The Outsider. That was excellent.
Okay. That's one of my favorite Stephen King books is The Outsider. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wish he'd never gone on social media.
Me too. Most celebrities, I'm like, God, you were so much cooler when I knew nothing about you.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm going to give you guys a...
Like Gene Simmons.
Worshipping Stephen King and hating him at the same time, ding.
Yeah, my worship's over. But I might check this out.
It's a good collection. There is a Lovecraftian story at the end that is freaking good. Really good. So
I'm going to Maine, to the town where he's seen an orphan next month, so I'll pick it up and read it there.
Yeah, tell him hello. Maybe you guys could talk politics.
I ran into him at the barbershop there. All right, Jack, what you got?
I got a shark movie from this year.
Shocking.
Where's Tim?
Sharking.
This is like the Shark and Bigfoot show.
And vampires.
No vampires this week, but like I said, I think I'm up to 15 vampire movies this year so far.
Jesus.
This one's called Something in the Water, which is kind of like when you're in the swimming pool with Hunter, and you're like, oh, crap, there's something in the water.
That's not a fin.
That's more of a
It's
manatee.
not a Baby
in the water.
Ruth.
Yeah.
It's a Baby Ruth.
This one is about 5 girlfriends who go off to some island for one of their weddings. 2 of the girls are a formal couple, but they had at the beginning of the movie, something happens to them that breaks them up.
I'm
So
falling
part of
asleep
the
already.
Jack was already running out of blood to his brain with the lesbian. Uh-huh.
So part of the plan is while they're having like their bachelorette celebration, they're going to try and maybe get them back together. Well, things go wrong and they all end up with the boat sank and they're treading water in the ocean, and there's a shark circling them for much of the movie. And one thing that maybe that they thought out was like, don't show a ton of the shark till later in the movie. That could be a good strategy, except it was kind of boring because the characters aren't that interesting.
Is that woman walking on water like Jesus?
Probably had a
Follow
board.
me.
Yeah, she has a hoverboard thing.
The loaves and sharks.
So this was a really bland. Like some of the shark parts were decent, but it was a pretty uneventful movie and forgettable. So it wasn't like the Under Paris one is a more goofy, fun
Oh,
thing.
Under Paris. I was thinking Midnight in Paris. Yeah,
It
different.
kind of seems like making a shark movie is almost a guaranteed way to get your money back. I've never even heard of this. It has 1.3 thousand ratings on IMDb. What the hell?
They made their money.
Everybody is
Need a
just
shark.
hoping.
Me
They're
too.
like, a new shark movie comes out. It's like, can we get another? It's like a werewolf movie. It's like, oh, except the sharks are more popular. It's like, is it an actual good one? No. Okay.
And if you can release it spring, summer, you're locked in, man.
You know.
Oh, what are you showing, Jason? What do you have there?
It's the movie I was getting ready for this week. Maybe I'll give a little spoiler. It's just
Werewolf?
called Werewolf. It's just called Werewolf. So
God.
we shall see.
Oh my.
Yeah. So Something in the Water.
Terrible.
Wait till you can watch it for free if you're a shark person.
Nope.
I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Now I saw on the spreadsheet that
I
somebody
love how you
watched-
guys all just said I'm good. Like you ever watch a movie that I talk about anyway?
I do.
Oh, I do, Jack.
Yeah, come on.
I do. I loaded
Oh.
up so many of those fucking Spanish werewolf movies.
That's right. That's
I'm
awesome.
working my way through them. Who watched Sasquatch Sunset last week? Jason?
I did.
Okay. So, by the way, how it took me this long to watch it, I don't know.
Same.
The hell.
So, I finally decided, let me watch this sucker. And I know this is very divisive, especially in the Sasquatch community, which... I mean,
community.
dude, there's there's Twitter, UFO Twitter. There's a Sasquatch community, and
You guys have a Discord, a private Discord?
it's insane. Like how there are people who like it and people who hate it.
Secret
And-
handshake.
Nah. I think the people who hate it don't realize it's a comedy, or don't like Sasquatch being portrayed in a comedy, especially when you got like, your nipples are so hard going, oh my God, there's money in this. There's actual actors and an actress in this movie. So they were just so excited about this. And they thought this was going to be like, what's the old, Jack, what's the old movie with the cavemen?
Quest for Fire.
Quest for Fire. So I think they thought they were getting Quest for Fire with Bigfoot. They are getting a scatological comedy Bigfoot movie with.
Well, they definitely were making some intentional comedy there.
I mean, there was more pee, poop, breast milk, and tiny penises than you ever think you'd see in an hour and a half movie. And it totally blew away the theory that big hands, big feet, and big cock.
Uh-huh.
Very tiny red rockets going on in this movie. Jesse Eisenberg is in it. Riley Keough is in this movie. Plays like the most depressed looking Bigfoot ever. But this is the best part. As we're watching it, my wife go, "Oh, she must be pregnant because her tits are getting bigger." Like we're looking at Bigfoot tits. I'm like, what is going on here? But because she's always nursing, there's always milk. And sometimes when you gotta say this road is mine, you gotta spray your milk all around the place.
That is a thing that happens.
Oh, my wife hated this movie from start to finish. I was fascinated by it and the fact that it got made and like their mindset to do this. And the last shot in the movie when they're standing by the Bigfoot Museum or whatever in Willow Creek, I'm like, you know what? I think I love this movie in a weird way. I don't know if I need to see it again for another 10 years. But I loved what they did with this movie. It's just so freaking weird, man.
They took a big swing.
They took a really big swing, but I thought it was funny. But I went in, I'm okay. I'm okay watching a funny Sasquatch movie.
But I've said this every time we talk about it. It's amazing how there are some, it's kind of funny and goofy and what the hell am I watching? But then there's a few parts that are really tense and start to like, you get an emotional response like, what? How are they doing this?
There are moments where you could actually cry in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's one moment in particular that I was like, oh, I don't want to see this.
The log in the river?
No.
Yeah.
That's not the one?
No.
Didn't
Oh.
Ari Aster produce this?
I have no idea.
I think he did.
I don't. Did
I think
he?
he was involved in it.
All right.
Yeah.
This has to be the weirdest thing I'll see this year is Sasquatch Sunset. It is freaking weird.
It is. And I
Yeah.
appreciate it for its weirdness.
Like how like you said, how does it get made? How do they get Jesse Eisenberg in it? Like what
How do
the
they get
hell?
Elvis's granddaughter in it?
Yeah.
It's
To
so
fucking
crazy.
give birth to a Bigfoot by squatting.
Or just
and
get
pushing it
like
out.
Sasquatched 6 Ways to Sunday.
I mean,
I-
that scene on the road where they're shitting, pissing, puking, spraying breast milk, and it just keeps going. I'm like, what is this?
Now,
Who
Hunter,
knows? This could happen. We don't know.
Hunter, imagine me in the theater by myself on like a Wednesday night when this came out, and I'm just watching it. Like halfway through, I'm like, "What am I doing? What is this?"
I would have loved that more than me sitting on a couch with a person going, "This is stupid. Why are we watching this? This is so stupid."
Well, that went through my head. I was like, "All right, so I'm by myself watching this," but then I'm like, "Who? You don't live near me anymore, so."
Yeah.
You're like, who else could I see this with in person? Like,
Nobody.
yeah,
By the way, here's the deal. I might buy this movie because I bought Night of the Demon just to watch a Bigfoot squish a man's penis and balls out of his jeans. There's nothing else reason to watch this movie. Sasquatch Sunset has moments. Like when the obviously like high Squatch goes to bang that mountain lion.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, like, the more I think about it, the more I really appreciate what they did with this movie and just how
Is this
far
streaming
this
anywhere?
advances. Yeah, it was on Amazon. I got it for like $5.99 or something, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy
Yeah,
it.
Not
free.
not free.
Yeah, not free.
Yeah, there's a sequence where one of them eats a bunch of poison berries or something and is hallucinating and puking, passes out, wakes
Horny.
up, pukes more, is horny, tries to bang another Bigfoot, eats a poisonous mushroom, is like it's like, what is this? Like, this movie's so crazy.
Doesn't it make you wonder how do they live to get this age? Like they should all be dead by their adolescence.
Weird. Weirdest movie of the year.
It is the weirdest movie, and in a way, it's very endearing. So I am going to buy it.
I'm so happy you finally saw it.
Me too. I don't know why it took so long, but I kept hearing
Speaking
so
of-
many bad things about it.
Speaking of weird movies, I'm still waiting for someone else to see Beau is Afraid. Nobody else will watch that.
The
It's 3
length,
hours.
man.
It's 3
Length.
hours.
I know, man, but it's
It's not about
You-
It's not. It's,
you have to ignore that Ari
There's more
Aster.
girth
If
and
you're gonna
less
watch
length.
it, just ignore who directed it and wrote it or whatever, because just pretend somebody else did it, like P.T. Anderson. It feels more like a P.T. Anderson movie anyway.
That just reminded me, Robert Eggers, the Nosferatu that he's working on.
Yeah.
Frailer
Mhm.
came out today, and it
Yeah.
looks really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a must see. For sure.
All right.
All right, Chad. Back to you.
All right. Well, Jason was whining before the show when we were in the green room about me talking about this movie. I'm going to talk about it anyway, because lots of garbage has been talked about on this show.
Spoilers.
Non-horror movies, plenty of them, Hunter. I watched Star Wars for the first time since 1977 in the movie theater.
If he
as I
watched
said
it
earlier.
more, he'd be more adjusted.
Another one I had on DVD. I watched it because the wife hadn't seen it, and we were doing the creepy couch, like most kids in the 70s. I had a lot of the swag, pajamas, bedspread, action figures, play sets, and I enjoyed the first trilogy. But for something that had lots of creatures and a dark side, it didn't scratch the same itch that horror did. So my love for Star Wars left by the time I was probably 11 or 12, something like that. Didn't last very long. Not as much as my love for like Kiss and AC/DC and stuff that I started in real horror.
By the way, my love for Star Wars ended and Kiss simultaneously. Right around
Really?
Empire Strikes Back. I was like, all right, we're good.
Okay. Well, I won't tell you what my wife thought of it. You'll have to watch the new episode of Creepy Couch. But for me, it didn't really hold up. It's a kid's movie. I understand
Yes.
why some people might love it for nostalgic reasons. For me, because I was never that attached to it in the first place, it didn't do that for me. I was bummed because the CGI was in it that I didn't know was going to be in it, that we already talked about. And I didn't remember Luke Skywalker being such a whiner.
Oh, such a baby.
Oh, he really
You've
is.
seen it more than once, like everybody else in the world.
This guy, no, it's one of those things where when I watched the movie, I knew everybody's name. I knew like most of all the creatures, the names of the ships. It's just one of those cultural things. Even my wife knew some of the, except for Darth Vader, which was hilarious. She couldn't get the name right, but it's like one of those things where you don't, if you don't know anything about something, because of American culture, you know so much about it. So, like I've never seen Princess Bride, but I can quote probably 4 or 5 lines from it.
Wait, stop the show.
Sorry, I haven't seen
Ring
this
the
kid's
bell,
movie, guys.
damn it. You never saw Princess Bride?
Wow. I get crap for talking about Star Wars, but The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride is
Get
one of
crap
the
for
best
not-
movies of all time.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, see,
I-
if you were to say that, I know where that comes from. And I
am
know which
going.
character says it.
To see Princess Bride this fall, and Carrie Ellis is hosting it and answering questions and stuff.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Chad,
So,
fix this.
yeah. I probably will, but I'd like to read the book because I'm a big fan of the author.
No,
So
read the
I was
effing
thinking
book.
about doing that first.
See the freaking movie.
Watch the movie.
But yeah, Luke Skywalker still lives in a tiny desert igloo with his aunt and uncle and whines like a 14-year-old.
Uncle Ben.
Also, they establish him as someone who has essentially had no life outside of being under his aunt and uncle's wing. But then when he hops into the X-Wing fighter, his peers all build him up as though he's like this top-notch marksman.
Dude was tagged into the force, man.
So I couldn't really figure him out.
Everybody in the town like references. It's referenced before he gets to the rebel base that he's a good pilot.
Yeah, but he's living at home and wants to just get
He
out.
can-
He's like dreaming about
can-
getting out of this igloo.
You can nail
You got-
womp rats in his T16.
Yeah,
Right.
you can
Vegas
operate a
Canyon.
land speeder.
Oh, you've seen it a few times. Huh?
Uneven territory.
So the silly humor appreciated by the 7-year-old me made the 54-year-old me stare.
With the flash shield down, I can't
at the
even see.
screen.
How am I supposed to fight?
I'm gonna. Jason's making me want to talk about this even
Jason
longer.
just died. He's done.
Jason's got like a Star Wars poster on his wall that he spent money to have framed. So I don't know what he's.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to hear nonsense about it.
Maybe he's getting butthurt, I think.
By the way, I was so
Dad,
into
you're like
Star
a-
Wars
Good.
that my dad, who was a heavy drinker, I know, shock. When he was hungover one morning, I stole $50 out of his wallet. I took a bus as a 10-year-old to Woolworths and bought
Woolworths.
10 Jawas. And I
Nice.
built a cardboard, the Jawas thing, and I just filled it with Jawas. And when he found out, it was a rough day in the house.
When you got a little older, did you pretend that they weren't Jawas, but that they were the tall man's minions?
Exactly. When I saw like Phantasm, I'm like, it's freaking Jawas.
Yeah. Anyway, watching it reminded me also that the next, I remember liking Empire and Return of better, but my favorite characters back then are still the same: the Jawas and the Tusken Raiders. Great designs on
Nice.
them. Actually, great designs on a lot of stuff: the Stormtroopers, Death Star, the Tatooine houses, the Jawa hippie dumpster van thing.
The Tusken
And-
Raiders. What was the name of the thing that like reptile they rode? Because I had that at one
It was
time.
like a mammoth thing. It wasn't a reptile. It was like a,
Banthas?
Were they banthas or was
yeah,
that
something
something
like
in
that.
Empire?
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, they were like big mammoths
It's
with the
Banthas!
ram horns.
All right, but because you could put the Tusken Raider in his back, there was a little trap door, and you put him in his back to ride him. The bantha. There we go. We have confirmation.
So, after a rewatch, after 4 decades, I'm still a Star Trek guy.
Still doesn't sound like it, but okay.
Star Trek.
Oh, Star
Star
Trek.
Wars.
Yeah. Star Trek is better than
Star Treks? That's my favorite ice cream.
Star Trek, yeah.
All right, Jason, I want you to entertain us with your herpy tongue.
But have you ever heard a more joyless person on this show right now than Chad? We just talked about Star Wars like it was a funeral. We got to get you some happy.
That's what I'm
pudding.
here for.
He just bitch slapped Robert Mitchum like he
you know,
was
we
Joe
gotta have-
Lansdale.
Somebody send him some jelly beans. Stop sending Jason stuff. Somebody send something happy to Chad. He needs.
Yeah, by the way, Toten, weren't Jack and I due for something? I think you mentioned it at one point. So if you're out there,
Yeah.
what is this? And when is it coming?
By the way, Laurel Hightower asked earlier what shirt I'm wearing. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt, and then Jason just thought it was funny that I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt. The reason why I have this is it's
'Cause
one
you're
of
a
my
poser.
gifts. It's one of my gifts on Father's Day that because my wife, because I'm like, we're gonna do Star Wars for Creepy Couch. She thought I was a Star Wars fan, so she gets me a shirt
Psych.
as one of my gifts on Father's Day. So
Did you
I'm being a
pretend
good
you loved
husband.
it?
no, I told her that I gently did it like the next day or something.
Hunter, can you do the sand people roar thing?
Oh, all right. And Jason, please enlighten us with something.
I watched a movie called Detour that actually is genre appropriate. Actually, Chad might like it. It's a guy by himself drinking his piss to survive. So this might actually be a Let's Get movie.
All right.
This is a dude driving by himself, and he gets hit by a mudslide in the middle of nowhere, and his car is knocked off the road, and he's completely encapsulated in dirt and mud. And the movie is him trying to survive when he realizes no help is coming because no one knows he's been knocked off the road and is stuck under all this dirt. This is pretty good. It's very small. I mean, the vast majority of the movie is one guy in a car, and they do a pretty good job trying to make it entertaining by doing different camera angles. He's recording stuff into his cell phone, either to amuse himself or for his fiance. So they're trying to do different camera tricks to make it interesting. They do some flashbacks and some dream sequences which kind of annoy me, but not bad for as small as it was. For one actor, it is a solid film. And like I said, he drinks piss, so there's your dark side.
It's like, what was that Kevin Costner movie where he drank piss in the very beginning? Waterworld.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
There's a whole subgenre of piss drinking movies that we
The chick in this movie, Bria Grant, little blonde cutie. She, I'm told that she had signed a letter of intent to play a specific role in the screenplay that Tim Meyer and I wrote based on our book Wormwood. She had written,
remember,
signed
we
a
were
letter.
told not to say anything about Bria Grant at one
Yeah,
point.
well, it's probably not ever going to happen.
We had a gag order.
We'll talk about it here.
She is in this in flashbacks only as the guy's fiance, or girlfriend or whatever the hell she is. She's not in it much, but there's like 3 actors in the movie, so she probably has second billing. This guy is an interesting character because he's half MacGyver, half complete dipshit who does the dumbest stuff. But then the next thing, he's like rigging up something to survive, and I'm like, how in the hell did you think of that? Like that is impressive. And the next thing, he's like opening the window that there's like feet of mud outside, and I'm like, what the so it's
I would love to see a character who's half MacGyver, half the Guyver. Can we get that?
my God, the freaking Guyver.
Who can make shit out of paper clips.
Those movies are insane.
They are.
So yeah, solid indie film. Not the best thing you'll see, but not bad.
All right. Check.
Hold on, I'm getting a sidebar from Colin over here.
Uh-oh. See farmer photos, sidebars.
Around the time of the 90s, there were many classic horror movies that were remade. Some were more celebrated than others. One such movie, I believe, got a lot of guff when it came out, and I only saw it once when it came out. That movie is called Night of the Living Dead, directed by Tom Savini.
Oh, yeah.
You've only seen this once?
So for the second time in my life,
Wow.
I watched Night of the Living Dead on Amazon. Popped like $3.
I'm sorry, Jack. Did you say you've never seen this version?
I've seen it once.
Okay.
Me too.
And when I saw it,
so
I
good.
was I didn't care. I was just like, oh, remake of Night of the Living Dead. Watched it. Could care less. I was busy partying and stuff. I didn't go in.
Good for you.
It wasn't good enough for me to but I didn't hate it or anything. I just sort of saw it, and then I never really stumbled upon it again. But I believe Hunter, like anytime this comes up, you always say like this is a pretty good movie.
Shocked.
I like this movie a lot.
So I'm glad
me
I'm bringing
too.
this up because I watched it, and I got to say, I liked it a lot more, appreciated it a lot more this time, because now I'm watching it with this feels like if you're going to go with the Dawn of the Dead 78.
Wait. Go back, Jason. The La Nut. Go like to the cover of the La Nut La Morts Vivants.
Vivants.
I don't know.
Is that the Italian?
Oh, La Nuit de Morts Vivants. Okay. I thought
Wow.
they were nutting all over
Nuts of the living
zombies. I'm nutting on the dead.
They're coming to catch you, Barbara.
No, that's that movie where the dude's stuck in the car with the zombie outside. What the hell
Yeah.
is it called?
Well, these are zombies with cum gutters.
This movie feels more like when you watch Dawn of the Dead, you're always in your head like, okay, so the black and white Dawn of the Night of the Living Dead happens, and then this is sort of in that same world. This feels more like a prequel to that because it's Tom Savini, so the gore sort of matches up a little bit better, and the tone
And
things like that.
better than he was in the 60s.
There's Bill Moseley as Coming to Get You, Barbara guy.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Holy cow.
Which
I didn't either.
He says that like 5 times in the first 30 seconds of the movie.
Hammer at home.
Quick trivia: that redhead right there,
Yeah.
brief appearance in Roadhouse at the bar.
Really?
Oh, the
Did a
original.
little Wikipedia this morning. I was like, oh, because I was like, what else has she been in? She also in Army of Darkness. She's the old witch.
Really?
Yeah.
Old witch. Oh my god.
Patricia
looks
Talman
so-
is a freaking horror legend. I didn't even
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I remember seeing this and noticing the differences right off the bat. Like, oh, the ending is different. Oh, they did this different. They did that. And now I appreciated the differences because I'm like, I've seen the first one. I don't need to see a Psycho shot for shot remake. So I like that he sort of interpreted it a little bit different. And the first time I saw this, I didn't know who Tony Todd was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tony Todd, man, that guy is so good, and he
Yep.
had such an edge to him. That it was that he's just so great, and I liked, especially like at the end, they switched things up a little bit. I liked that. So I know this one that doesn't get talked about a lot. I would say if you haven't revisit, have you ever seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time, this is a good one to revisit. I'm glad I did.
It is. I gotta watch that again. I had a good time with that movie.
Laurel's learned about cum gutters and cock roots.
By
on
the way,
show.
Laurel knew all about cum gutters. Let's not pretend. Good lord.
I got to tell you, I know it's sacrilege. If I'm going to watch Night of the Living Dead, I prefer to watch the 1990 version.
Yeah, I got no
I
problem
think
with that.
I might like it more too, man.
Fucking
Yeah.
idiot.
I mean, like I understand what the first one did. I understand it's a
sure.
way more important film. But if I'm going to put on Night of the Living Dead, I actually prefer to watch the 1990 version. I think it moves
God.
better. I like the Barber version in that better. And
between Star
Freaking
Wars
Tony
and this,
Todd.
I'm fucking off this show. Call Tim.
Jack, do you remember the scene where a very skinny, shirtless zombie busts through? I think it's the window or something. He's
Yes.
bald. He's very yellow.
Yes.
That I used to have a poster on my wall, and that was a taxi cab driver that they found because he was so thin. They asked him if he would come over and let them put makeup on him, and he'd be in the movie. And not an actor, just some cab driver that they wanted to use real quick.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the original Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Friends and people they found. Come on.
It's Savini. I mean, just watching Savini cook is so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did a
Toten
great
says
job.
Tallman worked on Jurassic Park as well. Who is this woman? Holy shit.
What?
God damn.
Well, she was a stunt person. So good for her, man.
She is also,
Yeah.
I think, one of the Star Trek series or
She's
something
the
like
fall girl.
Real quick before we move on. Do you guys agree with Rusty? Would you rather watch Return of the Living Dead than either of the Night of the Living Deads?
that. Yes.
Me too. Return is just...
I don't know, man.
I like Night of the Living Dead
both
more.
great. They're both great.
Dawn of the Dead and Return of the Living Dead are my two
Different
favorite.
tones.
That's a tough one, man. I'll watch any of them anytime.
Just different tones.
Man, it's hard to beat the the graveyard scene in Return.
Yeah, you guys are just
Sure
thinking
is.
of Linnea.
No, Return of the Living Dead is Night of the Living Dead is not on like my top movies of all time, and Return of the Living Dead is like in the top 10. So
Wow. Okay.
Said more titties. Okay. By the way, tonight's movie, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but there's a bit of cannibalism in this movie. Little did I know, I had watched Soylent Green. Again, my wife was like, oh, we haven't watched that in a long time. So there's a connection. There's some fibrous tissue, edible fibrous tissue between these two movies. So I watched the original. There is not another. Soylent Green with Charlton Heston and Edward G. Robinson. Yeah, see, yeah. Chuck
So the
Connors.
green is people.
Soylent Green is made from people. I love the way he says
spoiler alert.
that. Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's a fucking 50-something-year-old movie. Almost 60 years old. So, and by the way, there are food supplements called Soylent,
Wild.
which is
Wild.
never would I ever eat or drink anything called Soylent. But this is a future where there's tons of food shortages, there's overpopulation, and our main man he's a cop, and he's kind of a crooked cop, but you don't blame him, and he's out looking for people doing bad shit. But what's really going on in this movie is this dystopian view of society where, like Canada today, suicide is encouraged. Like medically, you might laugh. Hundreds of thousands of people have been assisted medically with suicide in Canada in the last 5 years. So Canada watched this movie and said, this is a really good idea. This is how we're going to get rid of people who are homeless, depressed, maybe not feeling good on Tuesday. And Charlton Heston is a cop investigating what's really going on with folks who die.
What is this? I don't remember this.
This is not in the movie.
Okay. I was like, what the hell is that?
Nope,
Okay.
not in the movie at all. This is an oil field of some movie giant, I think.
I've never seen this movie,
You would really like this movie,
It's
Chad.
good. It's good.
but I know what Soylent Green is because I've heard that.
I mean, we all know what Soylent Green is, which is why you should never make a brand called Soylent.
But like Planet of the Apes, would you not know that Soylent Green is people until you hear Heston say that?
There's
In the
no
movie?
way you would know. But what they're doing is taking all the people who elect to suicide themselves and then just putting them in garbage trucks and then dumping them in vats and making these Soylent Green cakes. So there's different colors of Soylent orange, Soylent red. But all we know is, according to Charlton Heston, Soylent Green is made from people. It's amazing. It holds up. It's actually sad. It's very sad. It's written by Harry Harrison. I don't know if any of you ever read his books. He did Bill the Galactic Hero, which I used to love those books. He's
Never
like
even heard
this.
of it.
If you ever watch Futurama, Zap Brannigan, he's kind of based on Bill the Galactic Hero. They're phenomenal books. So if you can get your hand on them, do. But this movie holds up. It's scarier than ever. I mean, after we're fed all the fake food from Bill Gates, we'll then be encouraged to kill ourselves, and then our remaining children will eat us at some point. Guaranteed. Here's where we're going.
I am surprised that this movie has not been remade, to be honest. It's good, but it's not like an all-time classic that you revisit all the time.
No.
It feels like it could be given a modern take that would be really good.
We'd fuck it up. There's
That
I'm
hasn't
telling you,
stopped people
we'd
before.
fuck it up.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm surprised this one has not been remade.
We'd make it so bad, and it would just be some like stupid woke take on it. It would just be terrible.
I mean, like you said, this movie's over 50 years old, and we still know that phrase. Like, it's still a phrase people know. How has this never been redone?
That's why it doesn't need to be remade. Just watch the original and be terrified.
But he's
about
just
how much it
surprised that they
predicts the
haven't
future.
done it.
Yeah, I'm not pitching the remake to you right now. I'm just
No,
saying,
I understand.
like
but
they're remaking My Bloody Valentine for the third goddamn time, or whatever.
But that's
it is.
silly shit. This stuff seems real. Like, it's kind of terrifying when you think about it. When you dig deeper into what's going on now, it's like, what did Nostradamus write this movie, not Harry Harrison? But I love this movie. I love Charlton Heston.
Now I
60s
wanna
Charlton
revisit
Heston was
it.
the best. So
Yeah, I wanna
check
watch
it out, and don't buy anything called Soylent anything. You're out of your minds if you do, because you might be eating mommy.
It's quite a brand. I remember seeing that on YouTube years ago, and I was like, "What?
Yeah, you can
What?
get it on Amazon.
Huh?"
Enjoy some Soylent Yellow fucking milkshake. No, thank you. I know who's in that. My neighbor just died. All right. Are we good? Do we have anything left? Are we going into the main feature?
I was going to talk about Wizard of Oz, but yeah, let's go.
This is like a fever dream you had about Dorothy?
He hates that movie too.
They binded her breasts, and I wish they didn't. Okay, everybody, let's go into the main feature. What you wish for?
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
All right. So, this is a movie that's on Amazon right now. I think it's $6.99. $7 was less than if you go to the movie theater to pay to see this movie. Nick Stahl, another Nick Stahl vehicle. So if you like movies with people who look like they're so strung out that they should be in a assisted living home, this is awesome for you. So Jack, describe the movie.
Why don't you watch last week's show? Because I watched this movie and already described it.
You did?
Yeah.
Why would you do that last week and did we do it again this week? What's going on?
Because you didn't choose any of the other movies I threw
I was
out.
on vacation. I wasn't watching any.
So anyway,
damn thing.
this is about a guy who's got some gambling problems, leaves the country, goes to, I think it's South America, hooks up with his friend who is going to be working for some highfalutin company he's a chef. He's going to be working this, serving these elite rich people a special dinner, but then something happens and he ends up assuming his friend's identity and taking his place and gets in way over his head.
Well said, Jack. Without giving away any spoilers, didn't need to use the bell. All right. So the first moment I heard, this is the movie, I thought Chad. Because I think Chad's a Nick Stahl, you'd be like his cut man in his corner. So I'm interested to hear what you thought of this flick.
Yeah, you're right. I'll preface it by saying that I am a Nick Stahl fan. Have you guys seen Bully? Really dark movie. He's freaking great in it.
I was a Bully.
Yeah, it's hard to watch, man. That movie. Carnival that I talked about, super underrated. You should all watch that HBO series. In the Bedroom, he was in Sin City. He played the yellow guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like him. I'm happy to see him doing movies. And then, of course, we all liked what Josiah saw. I think I liked it the most.
You did.
So I was looking forward to this. I really loved this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I had a hard time when the second dude showed up with the ponytail thing or the man bun or whatever, because all of a sudden the editing went bad for a while. Like they didn't cut away from him and his acting wasn't very good. Like everybody else's was, but every time that guy was in a scene, it was almost like it had this like Glenn Danzig delay in, okay, cut the not that bad, but
I will still fight you, Glenn Danzig.
You're not gonna ring the bell there, Jack. But other than that, I mean, I don't have any complaints. This is up my alley. When Jack was talking about it, I had a feeling that it was probably I wanted to see it and that I would probably like it more than him, and that it was something that I would like. Yeah, kudos to Nick for good performance. I know, Jack, you said that he was kind of a little bland or something.
A little one note.
Right, but I think that
Didn't
was
hurt
maybe
Bruce
just his
Willis's
character. But yeah, man, I really like this movie. Easily, probably right now on my top. I can't remember what my number one movie of the year is, but this might be it so far.
Wow.
I knew I could have won $1 billion in Vegas on this one. What I was unsure was Jason's reaction. Like, Jason, you could go either way on something like this. So
I really liked it. I thought this was very well made. I had two problems with it that I will have to get to in spoilers, but I was all in. I actually thought all the actors did a good job. Except for one problem I have that, again, we'll get into in spoilers, but cool location, cool story. I thought the pacing was well done, considering there's not a lot of action in this movie. They set up the suspense in a way that kept me engaged the whole time. I thoroughly enjoyed this. For a film I had not heard of until last week when you mentioned it, Jack, I was really pleased with this. The shockingly good year of horror continues. I am blown away.
Dude, put that on the poster.
This is in my top list so far. You know, I don't know that it's going to be, you know, top 5 or anything like that by the end of the year, but I thought this was really well done.
God. All right, Jack.
I don't think this is a shockingly good year in horror. I think we've had some good movies, but there's not a lot of stuff this year that.
Up till this point, I mean.
Right.
Because all our good shit usually hits after like September.
There's stuff coming up. I'm really excited for it. There's stuff I like, but there's not a lot of stuff that I'm like Hereditary that I'm gonna watch over and over again. Like there's stuff. This is definitely in the top 10 right now for me. I think I liked it. And when I said that I thought Nick Stahl was one note, I then circled back and said, well, maybe what I mean is I felt like the movie could have used a shot of adrenaline. That if they just had kicked it up a notch, a little bit more.
Narcan. It needed Narcan.
Like they could have.
Jesus Christ.
Tarantino it a little bit, just a little bit. But I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good movie. I really liked it. But like I said, I felt like it was just short of like.
I can see that.
Great. But really good. And like I said, one of my favorite movies of the year. So
it's definitely not action horror. That is for sure.
Nope.
It's like suspense.
And there's some great gore in it, and there's good suspense. So I was happy that we could watch it collectively.
Yes, good call, man. I'm glad that we watched this one. Thanks, Jack.
All right. So if you all seen the menu, it's a very good movie.
At dinner tonight, my friend, when I was explaining to her our main feature, she said, "Oh, is it like the menu?"
Yeah, we could only wish. I am so tired of this genre serving me up fucking plates of just boring shit, and I have to assume it's better just because everything else is even sub shit in this genre. This fucking movie's boring. This has been done before.
Dude, you are becoming
boring.
senile.
Nick Stahl looks like
You
he needs to fucking take him to
taste in
rehab.
movies.
Get him some fucking food. Get him
Wow.
some electrolytes. Help him out. He doesn't look well. This movie sucks.
Jason, just mute him right now. Let's move on.
This movie sucks.
I had to listen to you
It's
talk
boring
about
as
Star Wars for 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah, I'm letting out. I thought this movie was fucking terrible. It's been done better. Eating Raoul, I'd rather watch that 400 times than this movie.
Oh my gosh.
It's been
I
done
did
before.
say last week that there are other Eat the Rich movies that
It's been done
that
so
do
many
it better,
times.
but I thought this was enjoyable.
It's 2024. Elevate yourself. But I think we're so used to getting kicked in the balls by garbage in this genre that anything that looks, 10% better than shit seems really good to us.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, that's how I feel about this movie. I just feel like I've seen this before. I've seen it done way better before. And this was just a boring zero. And when it ended, I was like, whatever. That's a popcorn fart. I'll never think of this movie again. So there you go.
Okay. Should we get into spoilers?
Unadulterated Hunter Shea review.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Can't wait to get Nick Stahl on here to
You
talk
see
about his
how
upcoming
though,
film.
when he doesn't like a movie, it feels like he's insulting you.
Well, because it's the worst thing he's ever seen every
Yes.
week.
Just let it go. This
Yeah.
isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, I've seen better of
Yeah,
this subgenre.
It's a big F you to people who like this movie.
I
is
just
what
want
he
Nick
said.
Stahl. Come to my house, Nick. I'll take care of you in 2
Hunter,
weeks. And it'll feel
I
a lot
don't think you
better.
were here the week that we talked about this, but at least a few of us are convinced that you're so all over the place, whether it be beer or your wife or your mood or how tired you are. These all affect whether you actually like a movie or not.
Dude,
I don't think you
watched
have
this movie stone cold
taste.
sober, feeling good. It was a great day, and I'm like, oh, another shitty horror.
Then maybe
movie that I have
it
to
should have been a
endure.
bad day. But every single time you bash a good movie, all I can think about is
It's not a
stupid
good
freaking
movie.
Kids versus Aliens movie that you made us
Show
watch
this to
that you
100% of the
gushed
freaking
over.
world. They'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a fucking piece
This
of
is
garbage.
very highly rated on IMDb, 6.7 out of 10.
It should be.
Highly rated. By
You were
what?
like alone on your hatred of this.
Good. You know what? Somebody has to be like 3.3% that doesn't like it. Someone has to be in there. That's me. I felt so like crappy. I watched an episode of Northern Exposure just to like lift my spirits up. Like, this was just dumb. Like, I want to see something that's perfectly executed as opposed to this movie.
I really
Did it
want
get
to talk
you-
about the two things I didn't like. Can we hit the bell here?
Oh, let's go.
They're not anything like you, but I have two complaints. The first is Nick Stahl, I think, is actually a really good actor. He is so subdued while doing horrible things in this movie that it bothered me. I actually liked all the other actors, even the ones that were very stilted, like the rich people. They were like weird, rich foreign people.
They were
who could
barely
speak.
even there.
Like,
There was no
it
point even
didn't-
to have them.
If he didn't have that freak out in the shower, I'd have been like, this dude should be running this company because he's a goddamn lunatic.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he
well,
just
you're right.
rolled with the punches.
Yeah, you're right.
Is it that he can't emote because of something wrong with his face?
No.
He's got Lyme disease. He's got
Does-
facial
does-
paralysis.
Lyme disease, or too much Botox, or too much like.
I will tell you
No.
this though, the scene that I liked where he didn't emote, because I thought it was nice to see somebody do something that felt a little bit authentic, like the kid in Hereditary who accidentally killed his sister. It was when he found his friend hanging, and he just kind of like backed up and sat there and was like, "You're
Yeah,
stupid."
that's what happened to any of
I thought
them.
that was cool, rather than him like covering his, and screaming or something like that. He just
Like a
kind of like,
person.
what do I freaking do?
Pinata.
Which is actually I was enjoying the movie, but that's the point where I got so excited and I was like 100% in.
In
Because
We
I
saw the
like
dead guy
human?
hanging and his friend crying.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
it's-
you're
Yes, I'm in. I hate
What am I
Princess Bride.
missing here? I got a guy who's not related to nobody.
because
can
at
relate
that
to.
point, maybe you knew a lot more about this movie than I did, Hunter. I
I
didn't
knew
know
nothing
a
about
single
this.
thing about this movie. So
But-
here this is going on, and then his friend hangs himself. How are you not in at that point? And be like, where's this going to go?
I was like, oh, he's
Unless
a
you are,
scumbag.
unless you know
He's a
all about the
scumbag.
movie
Fucking
already.
doesn't care, and he's gonna take his place, and he's gonna fucking scam his way through it.
He is a
Fuck you.
scumbag.
All right, so
Yeah.
Hunter, give me
Another movie with
He was trying to keep
nobody
his
is
mom
likable.
alive. I
Everybody
don't-
you hate.
So
No, he was trying to keep his
Jason.
mom alive.
Yeah.
what that my thing, that one note about Nick Stahl, you're expounding on it. Like I just felt like a little more out of him. There's some other places that I just
Like
felt
acting.
if you had kicked this up a notch in a few places, I
Oh,
would have
God.
gotten more out of this.
He really rolls with the punch as well. He's like, oh, I guess I'm just going to cut this person up and serve him now.
But then he's
Yeah.
also terrible. They're all terrible at fucking playing the game. Like anybody could
So-
come in, person with the worst case of fucking, I don't know, like brain damage, could figure out these people are lying. They're like terrible at this. Like how
You need
aren't
your
they
own
discovered right
cloud
away?
above your house to scream at every day.
No, I
My-
scream
my-
at stupid movies. That's what I scream at.
My other complaint is that this organization does this all the time. They know everything. They have emails of people you can't get a hold of. They are everywhere. They know everything. When a dude shows up for this and is a different guy, they don't know. When he fucks up every single step of the process, they're not like, wait a minute. Something's
Yeah.
not right here.
Who are
Who
you?
are you?
Yeah.
Like the whole way through, up until the end, they never even question that he is the guy. And that was my other problem with this movie. Is it's like these are like the best of the best,
And they're
and the
idiots.
fact that this guy clearly doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
I also felt that way with having a contingency plan for if the cops show up. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're doing a thing like that, there should be somebody at the gate and calling up, "Hey, the cops are here," and a protocol. And I
Yeah.
know that
By the way, this is based on real
Well, they
stuff.
did have
This
somebody
stuff
at
goes
the gate
on in real
saying
life.
the cops are here.
but they didn't really have a plan.
No, they did. But Nick didn't know it.
But as soon as he doesn't know, get the dude who kills people and put a bullet in his head, and move on. Say, we're
Yeah,
gonna do
they were
this
like,
thing in
"Oh, it's going to
Nicaragua."
cost us money." I'm like, "Oh, it's better than everybody getting arrested."
Yeah,
Like, so those are my two problems with it. I did really enjoy it, but the company seemed very dumb, and I mean, I guess Nick Stahl kind of rolling with it all does make sense by the end because he is just a piece of shit who's fine with killing people. Like he told that girl, "Hey, you should leave," but then he served her tongue up 10 minutes later. Like he's really kind of okay with
he's
all of it.
garbage.
Yeah.
So I had no one to
Even
root
like-
for in this movie.
When she shows up and then she's hanging out in the kitchen with him, they could have the tension in that, and they could have made it a little bit funnier, a little more
Yes. It was just
Tense.
boring. There was so much boredom in this movie. This could have been madcap.
Can I mute?
And it
Can I
wasn't.
mute from this end?
You can't, man. This is it. Get ready. Here we go. Chad.
Go underwater,
You and I.
Hunter.
I'm not going underwater tonight. I'm above the water.
Jason, you're probably not going to see this because you stare at him all the time and see him mostly fat. But did anyone else get Steven Seagal vibes from the detective in his voice and some of his mannerisms and his eyes at all?
No.
Okay, I did big time.
I saw it 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what he looks like.
That guy can actually act, and was convincing. I didn't get that at all.
Yeah,
I
him
thought
I
the
like.
detective was my favorite part of the movie.
He was my favorite part too.
probably because he reminded you of Steven Seagal subconsciously.
Probably. I was waiting for him to Aikido everyone at the table. I thought that guy was really good. He did a good job of being
was.
like, these people are full of shit, but
Yeah.
I need to find out more.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job.
And when he changed, it was so it should have been so obvious to them. Dude knows because he switched like that. He got sick in the bathroom, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna leave now. I've got everything I need." It's like they wouldn't let him leave probably.
Dude, I'm a New Yorker. When you're involved in dangerous shit, play it off like a pro. Everyone sucked at playing this off. The woman,
Oh my god,
Nick Stahl, they all were terrible at this. Like
But
any
weren't you
New
the guy that
Yorker
just-
would have put a bullet in their head in 3 seconds for the way they were acting.
all of the garbage in Night of the Hunter that was so unrealistic, and you're talking about
From a movie
this
from the 50s,
after-
correct?
Yeah.
Yes. As opposed to now where we're supposedly so awake that we know what the fuck's going on. Like, Chad, you Michigan people could never survive.
I'm a
minute
New
in the
Yorker.
bomb.
They come in here.
Michigan. Dude,
now
we
you
got
can't
Detroit
leave.
here.
Huh?
Michigan, we got Detroit here, boy.
Yeah, fuck Detroit. Nasty city. Trying to kill you with the
Yeah.
water. But I'm saying they were just
That's
so
lit.
obvious. I was like, me and my wife were both going, come on. Fucking tone it down. Play it
Yeah,
like
Jason,
play
you
a little
called it.
smoother.
He watched this with his wife.
She stayed
usually
awake
when-
for this because she was so incensed
Yep.
by it.
Jason called it when you weren't here. He said usually if he watches a movie with his wife, he hates the movie.
No, usually she falls asleep and I like it.
That's why I'm in his wife's head, because I said that like twice.
You've been in her head forever. It's
For like 3 years.
absolutely nuts. But yeah, no, this one nobody acted correctly. I don't know. It's just boring. It's the cardinal sin. Make a boring cannibal movie.
All right. Well, I know it's not Kids versus Aliens or Mithrigan, but I liked it.
Dude, check the box office.
It's not a kids-
Mithrigan
it's not a kids
made more
movie,
money
it's
than
for
this
the
movie
adults.
ever will. This movie could be out 1,000 years and won't make it the same money Mithrigan made in a week
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
because it's
They
better.
make bad movies. Bad
Jesus
movies make a lot of
Christ.
money.
There's some good stuff coming up in the next few weeks.
Oh,
so-
Maxine, I cannot wait for.
And Long Legs is the week after that.
Oh, so sorry.
Is that the Nick Cage movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which the buzz on that movie is.
He's
Michael
not even
Monroe's
in
in
the
that too.
trailer. Michael Monroe is the star. He's not even in the trailer.
Yeah, there was another trailer that came out, and I totally didn't watch it because I'm like, I've seen enough. I don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
So Maxine is in 2 weeks.
So next week we got to talk about this off air because Quiet Place is next week, but I don't know if we want to do the theater 3 weeks in a row.
Do you think the aliens are going to win?
Huh.
Oh, that's
Day
right.
one.
It's a prequel.
I wonder if
We
the
shouldn't even waste our time on this.
humans are going to fight back.
You can
Give
make
me,
it a good
give me more
prequel.
Jason tone. Come on, keep going.
I could try to go drier, but I don't know.
Tell me about how Star Wars isn't a horror movie. Give me more of that.
Well, no, I
let's
think
hear it,
we should do an in-depth review of Star Wars that no one has ever seen.
Tell me about your thoughts on Love Lies Bleeding.
That was a good choice too. It's been a good 2 weeks.
Was that a horror movie?
It was more than Star Wars.
Remind me, was that a horror movie? Okay. Okay.
Do we have anything else to say about this movie? I won't
Get us
say
outta
anything
here.
else. You guys can.
No,
talk
I
about
think
how
we're all
good it is.
breaking
No,
up.
done. Yeah.
You know what though? It's more fun when there's a consenting voice, a dissenting voice. I think it's more fun.
If they make sense, yeah, it is.
This totally makes sense, Chad. Just go down your Tubi rabbit hole.
Next time, maybe, I don't know, watch it sober or not while you're half asleep.
I was sober, mother effer. I was totally sober. I've been sober for a week. Hadn't had a drink.
I'm going to say this.
14.
I am surprised, Hunter, that you hated it so much. But I'm also surprised that, Chad, you have it at like your top movie. Like,
I'm not. I knew this was going to happen.
These guys are at such polar ends of the movie spectrum. It's hilarious.
But Chad, you know what? No matter what, I'd still sit on your creepy couch with you. And I'd cuddle with you.
I would still invite you.
We could watch Empire Strikes Back together.
Jesus Christ. Jack and I are like, yeah, it was pretty good.
That's all right.
I really hope the producers were looking to be on the show. Let's bring them on.
Made a lot of friends today. This is a good
Was
one.
Helen Hunt in this movie? Can we talk?
All right. Enough. Let's stop.
Oh, God.
Get us out of here.
We'll
All
call
right.
this episode Night of the Hunter.
Night of the Hunter. There we go. That should be the episode tonight. We don't know what we're doing next week, but you heard a preview of what we're going to talk about on Twitter later. So, yeah, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for giving your time, your energy, and your brain power to watch a shitty movie and hear us talk about it. And until next week, we'll see you.
Bye.
Game over,